your social security number, and it all falls down on you. So now if you go through bankruptcy or you miss payments or you get behind and your credit score is not so great, that now follows you the rest of your life. It's like bondage. It's like you're trapped. You're trapped, man. You're sitting there every day and you're like, shoot, it's going to take me years to get myself out of this pit. So now you got to pay for all of these people to, fix your credit and, do secured cards and all of that. A business trust gets you to start from ground zero. Ground zero. You can start putting your assets inside of the trust, so then they're well protected, and now you can start building your credit all over again. And that's what you need to do to learn how to operate. As I've said many times on this channel, there are 3 things that you need to do to really get yourself into this private movement. Step 1 is your status correction and establishing a UCC contract trust, also known as the SPC process. That's step 1 for everybody. The status correction benefits you because you're outside of their jurisdiction, man. That's it. Once you're out of their jurisdiction, you have a lot of advantages. The second thing with establishing a UCC contract trust, that's just basically saying, hey, I liquidated all my bonds. I now have permission to use negotiable instruments. That's it. That's all you're communicating. That's it. I want to use negotiable instruments. Now, what's step 2? Step 2 is having a business trust and a banking relationship with a commercial bank, a credit union, or a brokerage firm. Okay? So now you have negotiable instruments. You can have bonds. You assign those bonds and negotiable instrument negotiations to the trust, okay? Why would you want to do that? Well, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, you did a status correction. What does status correction mean? It's that you're operating through the Constitution and through the common law, okay? Why do I say business trust? Because business trusts are really common law and constitutional trusts. They're not statutory trusts. They have the common law and the constitutional language in there. What does that mean? How does that benefit you? It means that it puts the bank on notice that they cannot infringe on your account. That's what it means. Because you're in the Constitution, common law jurisdiction. That's why so many banks don't accept them. You walk into the bank and you're like, hey, I got my trust. Oh, we do statutory trusts every day. We'll get this done in 24 hours. Then they read the document like, whoa, mister. We don't have control over you. Well, you need to go to a different bank. So that's that. So now what is it? It's a private individual through your status correction that you're operating the Constitution and the common law, and you're using a Constitution and common law trust. I don't know how to make it any more simple to make this correlation here. And you just operate that for the rest of your life. Status correction is a one-time deal. If you would like to get your status correction, highly recommend it. I would email advisor@creditoracademy.com. That's the first step for most people. And that kind of gets your feet wet. Business trust, same exact thing. Get your feet wet. We have a quick start guide, and we have what's called the big enchilada, where we go over a lot of stuff. We're having a special when the real estate business trust course comes out. We are going to grandfather in everybody who has the quick start guide or the big enchilada. It doesn't matter. And then you guys can ask questions live. And that's what I love, is answering questions live. Business trust is where I feel most comfortable because I've been doing it for so long. And I know people have a lot of questions, and they're like, Paul Michael, great. I got the bank account open. I got the business trust. I have my status correction. I got my bonds. You said there's 3 steps. You only said 2. What's the 3rd step? What is it? 3rd step is developing a relationship. With who? Your banker. Your banker. A lot of you are taking negotiable instruments, SF-30 forms, bonds, administrative process, all that. And you're walking into the bank, you're slamming it in front of the high school graduate who just got her first time banker's job at minimum wage. And you're like, you're going to discharge my house. How rude is that? And you think you're going to get anywhere with it? It's not going to happen. I did that before. That's why I know. Which is easier, to try to force your hand to make someone do something, or just ask them, hey, banker, just out of curiosity, what negotiable instruments do you accept? Anyone you want. They'll tell you. They will tell you. They have a policy and a procedure for negotiable instruments. So yes, they might not accept your SF-30, 14, 14, 14, 16, 14, 18, 4. Yes, they might not accept certain bills of exchanges. But what if they said, but we accept these promissory notes, Mr. Rowland. Write as many as you want, and we'll take it. Are you going to argue with them? No. You just be like, great. I'll get that done every day. And then they accept it every month. They bill it properly, and you do that. It's just a conversation. It's just a conversation. I swear, you get more, what is that saying? You get more bees with honey when you get more honey with bee. There's a saying.
You get more honey.
You get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's what it is. There you go. So you need to just develop that relationship. And I already got, Charles Schwab does it. Fidelity's got a policy person. Wells Fargo even. Talk to the bankers. Let them get to know you. And so you're not this belligerent, person off the street. And then go in with a suit and tie or, a nice little dress and just say, hey, I'm here to ask about negotiable instruments and what negotiable instruments you guys accept and what's your policy and procedure for negotiable instruments. And you know what they're going to probably say? They're going to say, I really don't know much about that, but since you're so kind, I'll work hard to find a representative that can answer that question. Thank you. That's it. Then you'll get a phone call. They'll say, yes, I know about this. And, they might ask you some fleeting questions. And then you just say, great. And you might not even know what they're talking about. They might just say, well, we accept these. And you may have never heard of them before. And then you say, great. Okay, I'll go ahead and take care of this. And I'm going to get my advisor and we will take care of this. And then schedule an appointment with an advisor. It's that simple. That we know exactly what to say to these people for your benefit. And after that banker is familiar with you and accepts your negotiable instruments, that's it. That's the only banker you deal with going forward. That's it. Every time you send a negotiable instrument, you only send it to that banker. And you just say, hey, I'm here to submit. And that's their job. That's what they do. So amazing. Hope that was helpful.